Did you know that at one time there was a community named Altona, just upstream from the mouth of Left Hand Canyon? It's about an 8-mile drive from downtown Boulder to where Altona was located. The town had its start near what is known today as Gear Canyon Drive, the entrance to Hyle Valley Ranch. Google Maps in 2026 still shows the town of Altona, but there's not a lot left of it now. Much of the town of Altona was located just south of where this stone house at 376 Left Hand Canyon Drive still sits today. This map from 1898 prominently shows Altona. Where did the name come from? Most likely from Altona, Germany, as many of the settlers were of German descent. The 1860 Nebraska Territory Colorado census listed 7 families and 8 individual miners living in the district. One of the residents listed was Peter Lehner, who traveled across the plains by ox team, arriving in June of 1860. The journey from Des Moines, Iowa to Left Hand Canyon took 58 days. Altona was intended as a supply and transportation center for miners, prospectors, and quarrymen in Gold Hill and Jamestown. In 1861, a private act passed the Colorado Territorial Legislature incorporating the town of Altona, called Altonia in the bill. It passed by the narrow margin of 7 in favor and 6 opposed. The town founders had grand plans for Altona. In the early days, travel to Altona was by horse or stagecoach. This image shows Altona residents Clyde and Louis Jane on one of their stagecoaches in Left Hand Canyon. The sign on the side of the stage mentions 2 of the destinations, Ward and Gold Hill. For a time, the toll gate for Left Hand Canyon Toll Road was located at Altona. By 1884, Altona had a population of 100. In its heyday, there was a hotel, though probably not that grand, a butcher, a bank, a general store, a bakery and restaurant, a post office, a stone quarry, a blacksmith shop, a stage stop, and a livery stable. Pictured here is the bakery. Interestingly, the sign spelled Altona with 2 O's. This photograph from 1882 shows Peter Haldey's blacksmith shop. The Haldeys were perhaps the most colorful family in town. He was born in Bern, Switzerland in 1845. In 1869, he emigrated to America. In 1872, he came by wagon train to Colorado. After a time in Denver, he purchased the blacksmith shop in Altona. Eventually, he owned 400 acres in Left Hand Canyon. Haldey, married 3 times, was a master road builder, deputy sheriff, postmaster, Altona school board member, and of course blacksmith. One account recalls that Haldey, who was known to lift a table laden with beer kegs with his teeth, had come into Boulder with a raging toothache and had to have several molars pulled, refusing any chloroform to dull the pain. Altona also had a 1-room schoolhouse. To form a school district required at least 10 students. Altona's district was formed in 1873. The schoolhouse was built in 1880. Between 10 and 20 students attended each year. The school operated until the 1940s, when it shut its doors for good. This photograph was taken in 1888, 8 years after the construction of the stone schoolhouse. Over the years, some unsympathetic changes were made to the entrance of the school. Today, the county owns the property, and it was designated as a landmark in 2013. Landmarking assures that the building will be protected from demolition and that any changes or additions to the exterior will be compatible with the historic structure. This newspaper article from 2019 highlights the county's efforts to restore the building. You can still visit the school. It's located just up canyon from Gear Canyon Drive. You will also find a brand new firehouse next to the historic school. As Altona turned more to farming and an agrarian lifestyle, it made sense for the town to form a grange. In this photograph from 1888, you can see the Altona community members gathered at a party in front of the Left Hand Grange in Niwot. In 1896, they built their own grange hall, number 127, meaning it was the 127th grange organized in the state. you can still visit the Altona Grange today. It's located at 39th and Nelson Road, not far from the mouth of Left Hand Canyon. For more information on the history of the Altona Grange, please view Historic Boulder's video on the Grange. The building that served as one location for the post office and general store for Altona is located where the Greenbrier Restaurant's bar is located today, at the intersection of US 36 and Left Hand Canyon Drive. It was originally built in 1873. In the 1920s, the general store added gas pumps and stayed open until a fire in the 1960s. In 1967, the property reopened as a restaurant. This photograph from 1943 shows Mr. and Mrs. E.P. Baker in front of the Red Arrow filling station, where the Greenbrier is located today. This 1947 image shows Grandma Baker with the Goulds, a pioneer family, in front of the station. On the grounds of the Greenbrier, 2 stone cabins constructed circa 1873 as part of Altona are still standing today. Over the years, the cabins have been rented to miners working up the canyon, travelers, and even firefighters. In the 1970s, they were connected by a center entry. The cabins are now a rental unit for the Greenbrier. 2 railroad grades were built to Altona. One grade ran along the foothills between Boulder and Altona, and the other grade ran from Longmont. Legend has it that the rival construction gangs met near Altona and got into a fight. Neither line progressed any farther, and no ties or rails were ever laid. The town population dwindled, but cattle and sheep ranchers continued to reside in the canyon, which provided forage for their animals. The pioneers and one-time prospectors soon discovered that the rocky soil of the canyon was not well suited for cultivation. Many of these folks moved to the nearby plains where the soil was richer and the extended Altona community was created. By the 1885 census, Altona became a catch-all for areas extending beyond the town site proper. The boundaries were roughly from just east of Springdale up the canyon, east to 63rd Street, and from St. Vereen Road to Nebo Road. In 1920, Oscar Friedel purchased the entire town site of Altona and built the stone house at 376 Left Hand Canyon Drive. He and his family had moved from Iowa to Boulder in 1921. In May of 1924, the Friedels' 7-year-old daughter Eleanor went out to pick wildflowers. When she failed to return home, a search party was organized. Tragically, her body was found wedged in the brush along Left Hand Creek, about 200 yards downstream from where she is surmised to have fallen off a log crossing the creek, her large straw hat floating on the water nearby. By the 1940s, the Boulder Daily Camera was calling Altona a ghost town. According to the article, "Now the stage station has been turned into a barn. The bank is gone. The rooming house is rotting on its foundations. Chickens wander about inside the grocery store. Like many lusty towns that sprang up during the golden age of the West, Altona is only a ghost town now." By the late 1940s, the Altona town site was being used to raise poultry by Raleigh Sutherland and his wife. This 1955 article from the Daily Camera relates that the Sutherland Ranch is located on the site of Altona. The old Altona post office shelters some of his turkeys. The historic stagecoach station barn is still standing on the property, as is the hewn log barn used in the early days as a stable for stagecoach horses. The latter is to be torn down soon. Mr. and Mrs. Sutherland are gradually putting up new buildings to replace the old Altona landmarks. They have moved in an army barrack structure and have erected a fine new concrete block building. This photograph from the collection of Martin Parsons, taken circa 1955, shows the deteriorated condition of the Altona stage barn. So what happened to Altona? In 1965, the Daily Camera reported that when the community of Altona was first conceived, in the early 1860s, it was a dream. That dream never materialized. When the highways and railroads were built, the little village was forgotten. The Altona directories from 1898 to 1906 show a rapidly dwindling population. In the 1898 directory on the left side of the page, there are 112 residents listed. In contrast, the 1906-07 directory in the lower right lists only 12 people. No history of Altona would be complete without mentioning the town's importance in the formation of Colorado water law. Altona residents were central players in an 1882 Colorado court case, Coffin versus the Left-Hand Ditch Company, establishing Colorado water law and the doctrine of prior appropriation. The Left-Hand Ditch Company still meets in the Altona Grange today. If you want to dig deeper into the history of Altona and the lives of the people who live there, be sure to read Diane Good Benedict's book, Left-Hand Canyon to the Plains, the Altona Community, Boulder County, Colorado. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and consider becoming a member of Historic Boulder at www.historicboulder.org.